Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm here with Fabio and Carlo, who are the choreographer and the director of Don't Kiss, which is another one of the films which is going to be in our Moving Bodies program of the screen dance short films in Lago. Sorry, thank you for joining us, Fabio. Thank you for joining us, Carl. How are you? And I wanted to ask you if you could describe your film in just a few words for people who haven't seen it yet. Just like what is people going to see and what was it inspired by?
Carl, shall I start?
You start, Fabio.
Okay, Don't Kiss is inspired by. It exists as a stage performance, as a dance performance. In fact, the movie is called Don't Kiss .mov because it's. I wouldn't say it's a movie version of the stage performance, because I think what was important for me and Carl when we started to talk about how to portray the dance piece in the movie was to actually make something that was not able to be experienced if not as a movie. So you cannot experience the movie experience in the stage piece. So the stage piece is called Don't Kiss, and the movie is called Don't Kiss .mov, and the concept, which is the connection between two male dancers, and the fact that they are in constant connection through a kiss, through the whole piece, and through the whole movie. This is what is in common between the two works. But the movie has its own nature, it has its own life, and it has its own experience, which is a different experience than the stage performance. So the inspiration, the collaboration with Carl came as a result of production prize that I received as a choreographer in Rotterdam duet competition in 2018. And this production prize was to create a movie out of the performance. So that's how then the collaboration with Carl came across. So we can say that the inspiration has been the choreography of Don't Kiss, the original choreography. And then we developed further in a different direction with Carl.
And sorry, how was the so you're saying that you had the choreography first and then you adapted it for something different but also the same kind of for the camera. So which elements of the choreography did you keep, and how did you make it different for the camera? I mean, how did you find something to adapt for the camera, and how, I don't know, how can you talk about that, please?
Yes. Well, the choreography is a longer piece than the movie, and what we kept was the idea of keeping the connection between the two dancers, so the kiss, and also also the movements. The movements that are in the movie are also the movements that are in the performance, in the stage performance. But thanks to the possibility to make a movie out of it, we could have a total different experience of the angle. I don't know if we want to spoil too much, but and of the journey inside the kiss, of the journey. So we could abstract much more what happens during. And that's thanks to the work we have done with Carl, thanks to the means of movie, also thanks in a way to the settings we chose and how it transforms also during the piece.
But in a way, we started with the the basic there was of the stage piece also, that investigation of a kiss. What is a kiss physically, and how does it feel to be inside a kiss and to be in this certain things? So that was like the basis for the film also. So we had the stage performance, and we of course wanted to do something, a new thing of it, but with this as some core of it. So yeah. And then in a way, I remember that we talked a lot about like how the idea or the feeling of getting lost in a kiss, and to that you forget the world outside in a way, and that we're trying to capture that feeling kind of in the film in the end, definitely.
And also, how could we separate ourselves from the gender? So how could would have we been able to make a journey so that at some point the images you see could actually belong to any gender? So it's no longer, at some point it could also be two women or a man and a woman. So we would also free ourselves from that.
Great. Yeah, that's very interesting about the film as well. And another question that I had is about the dancers who are in it. Are they the same dancers that are on the dance piece, and what are the backgrounds of them? How did you work with them? How was that process?
Yeah, actually, they're not the performers of the original piece, but they have also experienced the stage, let's say the stage version of it. So I've been working with them first, teaching them the original script, the original choreography, and then we had a time to select and to work in the space, because the space that with Carl we chose is quite specific and it's quite small. It was quite small, so we had to adapt the choreography to that and to make the most out of it, because we had the wish to go for a daily space, but then a mixture between the daily space and the theatrical space, so that it would be a combination between reality and theatricality in a way, or like what's real, what's not real. Their background, they were both at the time dancers from Nordans, which is the company that produced the movie. Yeah, and I actually don't know much about their background. I just realized through your question. I was like, I think we met and we delved into the project, and then we connected and we focused so much that I genuinely don't know.
You could also say that it was a kind of, they did a fantastic work in many ways, because it was a very difficult. I don't think I spoiled too much if I say that the film is a one take. So it was a very complicated camera movement, and the dancers had a very complicated choreography to make, and it was difficult for them to make it so, and it was also difficult for us to make the camera movement work. So we had to do it many times to make it both from both end work. In a way, when they made a fantastic work, then us from the camera team fucked up in some way, and then when we finally made a good move, then it was something in the choreography that went wrong and so on. So it was a very challenging thing to do for them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting about screen dance. We like how these things have to come together, like the choreography and especially in a single shot. Like it's maybe I don't know how you felt about it, about making a single shot, and like I don't know if you had done screen dance before, like any of you, and how do you felt about making a single shot versus making like a, I don't know, like a edited kind of film, about, especially about if this film is about like the feeling, like getting like to experience a feeling, how you feel about that,
But
about that decision.
it was something that we took also from, inspired from the stage performance, because, and we talked about it a lot, that the stage performance also have something that you go from one point to another point in a very slow transition and a very even transition all over the piece. And we wanted to do the same thing in the film, to start with something and then that develop all the time and becoming something else, that you're becoming like engaged yourself in this kiss in the end. And we talked about like our transition then is kind of that a kiss that is observed by others, to becoming inside the kiss yourself, and to forget the reality around you. So that then it became quite obvious that this should be a one take. Then it was a very tricky one take to make, because then we needed both a camera movement, a tilt, and a zoom and a dolly, and yeah, everything needed to come together in a way. But it was the idea from the beginning that this has to be a one take, to make this very slow movement and consistent movement.
And I think it's the power of the movie. I think it's what gives some power, in my opinion. It also, and as Carl mentioned, it also has something to do with the stage performance, because in the stage performance, the performers never leave the kiss. It is longer, it's 15 minutes, so it's dancing and holding it. And somehow that creates the necessary tension along the way, and a transformation of what you're watching. And I think the movie does this. The fact that it's one shot, as Carl said, for us from the very beginning, it was like, it has to be. But also what he mentioned is it was an extra challenge, and I think it made the whole experience very meaningful, because then everybody had to be so focused all the time, because that maybe was going to be the one shot. And somehow you cannot get away with just doing parts or like cutting, editing. It's like that's the one. And it was, I have to say, I don't work with movies. It was very, very powerful. I have a wonderful memory of it. And I think it has a lot to do with how much focus we all had, because that had, one of them had to be the one.
We were many people inside a very small kitchen.
Yes.
Tension was very high.
I have like maybe like one more question, which is how long did it take, like from, I don't know, the moment that you like got the funds or that you decided to make the film until you released the film? How long did that process take? The whole rehearsals and adapting it and everything.
What was it? We started kind of, we got this Fabio and I met after I got the funding already, in a way, as this prize for the stage performance. Mm-hmm. So then I think it was something to get and we could work with the idea, me and Fabio, and then the dancers, we just had them for a couple of days because we knew we were gonna film with them. So it was their schedule that kind of made it. But all the process, it's difficult to say. But we was it a couple of months before that we started to discuss it, before we were there and on set and made it. And there it was a couple of days. And then, of course, it's not that much editing, but it was a lot of other post process with the sound and everything afterwards. So,
yeah, and I had a period before with the dancers where I was teaching the stage performance. So I had a couple of weeks to work with them, but then we only had a couple of days to readapt the choreographic material into the space where we could actually be in the space, and then a couple of days for filming. So all in all was quite compressed. Yeah.
Well, great. One last thing is if you would like to say anything to anyone who is watching, who will which will watch Don't Kiss Dot Mov. Anything like any comments or anything beforehand?
See the film. It doesn't count.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy.
I'm sure everyone will enjoy. And well, thank you for being here again. And it was a lovely chat. Thank you for being here. And to everyone, please come and see the Moving Body selection. It has great screen dances. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.